There's a giant cat killing people in the South, and no one's talking about it. Maybe. Hi, I'm Hoffman. I like talking about ghosts and cryptids and other things that no 26-year-old man should spend this much time on. The Appalachian Mountains are terrifying. Beautiful, but terrifying. Just like every woman I've ever been attracted to. There are enough stories of ghosts, legends, and cryptids that you could write a whole book about it. And a lot of people have. The Wampus Cat is one of, if not the most popular urban legend in all of Appalachia. It's a ton of school mascots, it shows up in pop culture, it shows up in role-play games, and its legend is still used to scare people all throughout East Tennessee. There was a point where fear of the Wampus Cat was so strong that it held an entire East Tennessee community hostage in terror. So what is the Wampus Cat? In short, the Wampus Cat is a big pussy. It's a big cat. Well, it's like a cat-like cryptid would be a better description. The Wampus Cat has gone by many names. Some people just call it Wampus. Some people call it Catty Wampus. Other people call it the Swimming Wampus or the Whistling Wampus. Yeah, there's like a whole sect of people who I guess just saw it and then took whatever activity it happened to be doing that day and added the word Wampus to that. For every possible name the Wampus Cat has, there's like 6 descriptions of it. One of the most popular descriptions is that it's a giant cougar with sharp teeth, long claws, and 6 legs. I don't know if having 6 legs helps it in any way, but I can say if I saw that thing running toward me, I would die of a stroke before it ever even made impact. Other descriptions of the Wampus Cat say that it has the body of a cat and the face of a woman. Would. Some people even say that the Wampus Cat can shapeshift, which would make a lot of sense considering all the different descriptions. All I know is that no matter what it looks like, my wife would 100% try to pet it. The Wampus Cat has been rumored to be responsible for all kinds of deaths and missing people in the Appalachian Mountains, and people say that it destroys hundreds of campsites every year. This thing is a menace. It's an incredibly skilled hunter, and it apparently can sneak up on its prey before they realize it, and by that point they're, dead. The Wampus Cat is so good at hiding that some people say that it might have invisibility powers. And to those people, I would just say, that's kind of how cats work, right? Like, cats are known for being able to sneak up on things. That's not breaking news. The Wampus Cat is also incredibly strong, supernaturally fast, and can jump really high. And most importantly, the Wampus Cat has glowing yellow eyes, and if you look into them, they apparently drive you insane. Just like Jake Gyllenhaal. Side note, my wife is a huge Swiftie, and I'm a Jake Gyllenhaal. Somehow we make it work. That's not remotely related. While stealth seems to be the Wampus Cat's modus operandi, yeah, I speak a little French. Sometimes it likes to strike fear into its victims by letting out a loud, half-human, half-animal scream that you can hear all throughout the mountains. And again, a lot of animals just sound like that. Like when you look up the Wampus Cat, a lot of people talk about the noise it makes, and it's like, how are we just gonna scooch right past the 6 legs and hypnotic eyes? Let's focus, people. There are a few popular villain origin stories for the Wampus Cat. The most popular by far stems from what a lot of people will say is an old Cherokee legend, but that take is pretty controversial. We'll talk about it. The Cliff Notes version is that there was a Cherokee woman who wanted to be a hunter, and all the Cherokee men were like, you can't do that. What if you got your period? She puts on a cougar skin, and she hides out in the woods and follows the men as they go on a hunting trip. And she sees their pre-hunt ritual that no woman is ever supposed to see. Whenever I hear stuff like that, I just assume it's gay stuff. She ends up getting caught, and the men are so furious that they take her to a medicine man, and they're like, we gotta punish this woman. And the medicine man's like, okay, well, since she wore a cougar skin, I'm gonna fuse that skin with her human skin, and she's gonna live out the rest of her days as a freakish, half-human, half-cat hybrid. And so now she roams around the Appalachian Mountains, hunting animals and taking out her anger on men. And honestly, hard to be upset. I get it. Now, a different story, which I like better because I think it's way more badass, is that there was a Cherokee woman named Running Deer who was seeking revenge on an evil spirit known as a Ewa because it drove her husband to insanity. As she's preparing to fight this spirit, she puts on the mask of a cougar because apparently cat spirits could ward away evil spirits. After a long, drawn-out battle with the Ewa, she was able to scare it away, and now they say that the Wampus Cat is actually her spirit that stays around the area, warding off evil spirits and people who would do harm. Like I said, I like that story a lot better, but I am aware that that would mean that all the people the Wampus Cat kills every year would technically be evil spirits. I'm fine with that. Now, I am very white, so I can't really speak a lot to indigenous culture and folklore, but from what I've seen, I don't think this story actually originated with Cherokee people. I think it's a story that got intertwined with some Cherokee elements. There's a lot of stuff that's just odd. Like, in early accounts, they said the Wampus Cat could be scared away if you just yelled out Bible verses. And why would indigenous people put that in their own story? Honestly, it seems like settlers already had stories about the Wampus Cat, and then over time they intermingled them with stuff they'd heard about Cherokee people. Because if there's one thing that us Caucasians like, it's taking other people's cultures and then warping it to scare each other. For the vast amount of time, the Wampus Cat was seen as just a fun urban legend used to scare people in the woods. But there was a period of time where people were legitimately terrified of this thing. In the early 1900s, there were sightings of large cats in Texas and Oklahoma that coincided with livestock being killed. And the people were freaking out, which is understandable because, cryptid or not, giant cats coming and killing your animals is objectively terrifying. But it didn't help that people started spreading stories that these cats weren't just normal mountain cats, these were giant supernatural ghost cats. And on one occasion, two guys claimed they had caught one, and they said that it had a 9-foot tail and 3 feet teeth, and they couldn't even contain it because it was so strong. But when reporters got there, they're like, I mean, it's big. It's not crazy big. It's just a big cat. The Wampus Cat's reign of terror hit its peak in 1918 in Knoxville, Tennessee. A few different events started to transpire at the same time. One, people started finding their dogs dead outside with their internal organs ripped out. Later on, this started happening to chickens and then larger cattle and eventually mules. At the same time, someone found panther tracks near Knoxville. People immediately went into a panic because while, coyotes and wolves and things coming and killing chickens was normal, the amount of animals being killed and the size of some of them was insane. The fact that they were seeing panther tracks and these people had heard about the Wampus Cat, they just decided that's exactly what it is. This whipped everyone up into a frenzy, and people started saying that they were seeing giant cats everywhere. To make matters worse, a zoologist from the University of Tennessee was asked to come check out the dead animals in the tracks to see if he could identify what it was, and he couldn't. And so people are like, oh, it's definitely a supernatural ghost cat. Because those are the two options. Either he can give us a hard answer or it's the Wampus Cat. Makes total sense to me. It got crazy. People were traveling in pairs. You wouldn't really see people out at night. People were bringing their dogs in. And by the way, my dogs sleep in the bed with me. They would have been fine. They've never even known danger. They don't even know what's out there. Eventually, newspapers and local stores started offering rewards for anyone who could capture the Wampus Cat. It involved money, gold, watches, and at one point a camera. And so on Thanksgiving Day, 1918, a group of 75 men took guns, bows and arrows, and different kinds of weapons to go out into the wilderness and hunt the Wampus Cat. This is insane to me because if you're from the South, you can't get people to organize for shit. But if you tell them they can shoot something, you will have people lined up. These men believed that they were going after something that was a large gray cat with white spots that could jump 12 feet in the air. Unfortunately, all these men missed their Thanksgiving dinner for nothing because the Wampus Cat wasn't found. Shortly after this, a woman gets attacked by an animal that she can't describe, and she barely gets away with her life. And people decide, oh, the Wampus Cat is coming for humans now. A local store owner bought the dress that she was wearing when she was attacked and put it on display in his window. And people from all over came to look at this dress. And good for her, get the bag. But at the same time, it's insane how we will take people's traumatic events and monetize it. This event made the hunt for the Wampus Cat a 24/7 job. People were taking posts, staying up all night, taking shifts. Somebody was going to find this. And I guess the Wampus Cat saw them doing this and was like, I was just playing. Sorry. Because they never saw the Wampus Cat in that area again. Around this same time, 90 miles away in Greenville, Tennessee, they also started having sightings of the Wampus Cat, but they had a totally different perspective A local newspaper said that a lot of the parents were actually thrilled because their kids weren't staying out at night and they didn't have to worry about teenagers sneaking around. Like, I love that there was a town that's like, no, we can coexist with the Wampus Cat. We can make this work. By January 1919, the Wampus Cat fascination had kind of died off, and most people in the area were just laughing at each other about how crazy they had acted. Except for the woman who was attacked, I imagine. I don't guess she was just joking around and moving on. Later in 1919 in Benton, Tennessee, there were other sightings of the Wampus Cat and some dead animals. Some people claimed that they caught it in a cave, but conveniently they never got a picture of it. But I will say, the people who did see whatever they caught said it absolutely had to be something paranormal, which seems like it's not hard to convince people of that anyway, so do with that what you will. Over the next century, there have been countless sightings of the Wampus Cat, both in the Appalachian Mountains and all over the US. But somehow, nobody's ever been able to get a picture or a video. But as we know, cryptids are really good at hide and seek. That or they don't exist. That's not fun. So, what could the Wampus Cat be? Based on a lot of descriptions, it sounds like it's just big cats, which would make sense because until the mid-1900s, there were a lot of big cats in the Appalachian Mountains. And it sounds like people saw a big cat, exaggerated what they saw in their head, and then told the exaggerated version to other people, which I get it. I do the exact same thing with my penis. While that does explain earlier sightings of the Wampus Cat, that doesn't really explain the sightings that we have today. Now, I know you guys don't come here for conspiracy theories. Honestly, you didn't come here at all. You either fell asleep watching the last video and this one auto-played, or you're one of my 3 friends who actually watched these. Love you guys, but according to the National Forestry Service, the only big cats that live in the Appalachian Mountains are bobcats, which is a problem because literally on a daily basis, people see cougars, mountain lions, and panthers and swear that they see other big cats all over the Appalachian Mountains. And the Forestry Service denies this and says that they're not there, but also you will go to jail if you shoot one. Some people say that these big cats populations were decimated over time, but now they've been making a comeback and repopulating. And other people say that the powers that be are hiding something. Could that be it? Is the government protecting the Wampus Cat? That'd be way more fun than a lot of the shit they've actually done. Honestly, I love the Wampus Cat. I get a lot of Jaws vibes from it. Like, that's its territory, and we keep infringing on its territory, and if we don't stop, it's gonna have to act out. That was the message of that movie, right? My frustration is that I think the Wampus Cat should be talked about more. I think it should have a seat at the table with Bigfoot and the Loch Ness Monster and all the other cryptids that we can't explain. Like I said, we haven't even begun to scratch the surface of everything going on in the Appalachian Mountains, but we will. I'm gonna try to cover as much as I can, unless I get too close to the truth, which is unlikely because I'm very lazy. Thanks for watching.